Picture a man sitting in a room where every need is already met. The chair is soft, the food is easy, the temperature is perfect, the screens are glowing. There is no hunger, no urgency, no risk, no reason to move. At first glance, this looks like success. He has everything. But stay long enough and you begin to see the truth. He has nothing. His ambition has gone. His strength has faded. His fire is gone. This, Nietzsche warned, is how comfort kills. Not with violence, not with shock, but with quiet suffocation. A man wrapped in ease begins to decay. His body softens. His will weakens. His spirit fades into shadows. The tragedy is that he doesn't even notice. He thinks he's winning. He thinks life is good. But every day, a little more of him dies. Thank you for tuning in to The Midnight Mind. Please consider subscribing if this is your first time here, and hit the like button for me. I really would appreciate it. It's midnight, and tonight we enter the mind of Nietzsche. Nietzsche lived in a time when industrial life was just beginning to offer more comfort to the masses. He looked at the direction society was moving and saw the future with frightening clarity. He called the product of this new age the last man. The last man doesn't strive, he doesn't risk, he doesn't dream of greatness. He only wants ease. His highest goal is safety. His reward is comfort. He avoids pain, avoids struggle, avoids anything that would force him to grow. He looks content, but he has nothing left of his soul. Nietzsche considered this figure the death of humanity's potential. The warning is clear. Comfort makes you small. Think of the mountains of history, the generals, the explorers, the thinkers, the inventors. None of them lived in comfort. They fought, they hungered, they risked, they endured. That struggle sharpened them into who they became. Now contrast that with modern life. Everything is designed to take away struggle. Food is delivered to your door. Entertainment streams endlessly. The phone in your pocket gives you a dopamine hit whenever you want. You can live an entire life without ever truly facing hunger, fear, or solitude. But what happens to ambition in this world? It shrinks. Why climb when you can sit? Why fight when you can scroll? Why suffer when you can numb yourself with instant pleasure? Ambition requires space to grow, and comfort smothers it. Nietzsche knew that a man without ambition is a man already defeated. Not defeated by enemies, not defeated by nature, but defeated by himself. Resilience is born in resistance. Your muscles only grow under stress. Your courage only grows in danger. Your character only grows when tested. Without discomfort, there is no call to rise, no reason to strengthen. Nietzsche warned that when life eventually delivers its blow, and it always does, the comfortable man collapses. He has never faced pain willingly, so he cannot face it when it arrives. He has no armor, no scar tissue, no memory of surviving storms. His mind is fragile because it has never been tempered in fire. Comfort pretends to protect you, but it only makes you weak. The struggle you avoid today becomes the breakdown you cannot handle tomorrow. Ask yourself, what are the moments you cherish most? They are rarely the easy ones. They are the victories after struggle, the peace after hardship, the pride after effort. Meaning comes from what costs you something. Nietzsche believed meaning was forged in suffering, in bearing weight and turning it into strength, in saying yes to life, even when it hurts. A life without that weight is a life without depth. Comfort strips meaning from existence because it removes the friction that makes triumph possible. The man of comfort asks, how can I avoid pain? The strong man asks, what is worth suffering for? The first ends in emptiness, the second discovers meaning. The great danger of comfort is that it feels good. It lulls you into thinking you're safe, successful, complete. But slowly, invisibly, it hollows you out. Nietzsche saw this as a spiritual rot. He believed the modern world would seduce people into trading their will for ease, their potential for safety, and once lost, they would not even miss it. To Nietzsche, this was worse than death. A man who suffers still has life in him. But a man who hides forever in comfort is already dead. Comfort is the silent killer of ambition, resilience, and meaning. It offers peace, but it robs you of power. It offers safety, but it leaves you fragile. It offers pleasure, but it denies you greatness. Nietzsche's warning was not just about society, it was about you, about me, about anyone tempted to live in the soft glow of ease while their potential burns out in silence. The question isn't whether comfort feels good, it does. The question is whether you are willing to pay the hidden price. Nietzsche once asked, "What becomes of humanity when it no longer strives for greatness?" His answer was chilling. He described a new type of person, not a hero or a creator, but a hollow shadow of a man. He called this figure the last man. The last man doesn't dream of conquering, building, or risking. He doesn't hunger for knowledge or thirst for the unknown. He only wants ease. He says, "We have discovered happiness." But what he means is, we have discovered safety. We have discovered comfort. We no longer want to fight. To Nietzsche, this was the most dangerous figure imaginable, because he looked content. He was not enslaved by chains or tyrants. He was enslaved by his own laziness, his own fear of struggle. You don't need to look far to see Nietzsche's prophecy alive in modern life. The last man lives behind glowing screens, endlessly entertained but never challenged. He eats more than he needs. He starves his spirit. He scrolls for hours, but never builds. He avoids risk, avoids difficulty, avoids confrontation. And what does he gain from all of this? He gains a smooth life, but a shallow one. He lives longer, perhaps, but with no depth. He avoids suffering, but he also avoids meaning. He survives, but never truly lives. Nietzsche's fear was that once society accepted this figure as normal, no one would rise again. No one would dare to step out of the herd. Humanity would trade its fire for comfort, its ambition for sedation. Nietzsche always set his vision of the last man against his vision of the higher man, the one who dares to overcome himself. The contrast is sharp. The last man says, "I'm comfortable, why would I change?" The higher man says, "I am capable of more, I must change." The last man flees suffering. The higher man embraces it as the furnace of growth. The last man chooses safety. The higher man risks himself in the pursuit of creation, truth, and greatness. In Nietzsche's eyes, this was the dividing line of humanity's future. Would we sink into the smallness of the last man, or rise toward the greatness of the higher man? Ironically, the more comfort a man has, the more fearful he becomes. When you avoid discomfort, even the smallest hardship feels unbearable. A single insult shakes you. A minor failure looks like disaster. A passing struggle feels like tragedy. Nietzsche understood that when you strip hardship away from life, you don't create happiness, you create fragility. A man who has never trained his will becomes a man who collapses under the first storm. This is why Nietzsche believed comfort was not neutral, it was corrosive. It didn't simply remove pain, it created weakness. It turned strong spirits into timid ones. One of Nietzsche's central ideas was the will to power, the drive in every person to expand, to rise, to assert, to create. This is not about political power or domination. It's about growth, about reaching for more, about pushing life into higher forms. Comfort suffocates the will. Why push for more when everything is already easy? Why endure risk when pleasure is one step away? The will to power withers when a man accepts comfort as his highest value. The rest is a life that feels full on the surface, but is hollow underneath. A man with no will to power becomes passive, aimless, content to drift wherever society carries him. Nietzsche considered this a betrayal of life itself. The danger of comfort is not that it looks bad, the danger is that it looks good. It doesn't announce itself as poison. It offers you rest, safety, luxury, ease, and you accept it, because it feels like winning. But while you rest, your muscles decay. While you enjoy ease, your courage fades. While you avoid hardship, your meaning disappears. Slowly, day by day, you become smaller, and you never notice. Nietzsche believed this was how civilizations declined, not with sudden collapse, but with slow surrender, not with violent defeat, but but with comfortable decay. For Nietzsche, the cure was not to reject pleasure entirely. It was to embrace struggle as essential, to deliberately step into difficulty, to take risks, endure suffering, and rise above it. He wrote about those rare individuals who refused to sink into comfort, the creators, the fighters, the thinkers who carried humanity forward. They were not content with safety. They demanded more from themselves, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. This is what Nietzsche wanted his readers to see, that greatness is not handed to you. It is carved from struggle. And if you choose comfort over struggle, you are choosing smallness over greatness. So the question becomes personal. Where in your life have you chosen comfort over growth? Where have you avoided struggle instead of stepping into it? Where has ease dulled your edge? Nietzsche's challenge is not abstract, it's direct. Look at your daily life. Look at how you eat, how you work, how you spend your time. Are you becoming the higher man or the last man? Are you embracing hardship or running from it? Every choice is a vote. Every moment of comfort is a step toward the last man. Every moment of struggle willingly endured is a step toward strength. Nietzsche's warning is as urgent today as it was in his own lifetime. Comfort promises happiness but delivers weakness. It offers safety but takes away greatness. The last man may look content, but his soul has already surrendered. The only way forward, Nietzsche believed, was to reject the false peace of comfort and to embrace the fire of struggle. Only then can the will to power grow strong. Only then can a man rise above the herd. The question is whether you are willing to make that choice. Nietzsche wouldn't waste his time preaching to governments or institutions. He would speak directly to the individual, to you, to me. Because the decline of humanity doesn't begin with nations. It begins with men who trade their strength for comfort. And it is reversed by men who dare to do the opposite. The path away from comfort doesn't begin with speeches. It begins with small, deliberate acts. Nietzsche's message was clear. Greatness is forged, not gifted. If you want to escape the fate of the last man, you must deliberately choose difficulty. The will does not strengthen itself. It grows only when it is exercised. Nietzsche admired figures who lived in hardship because their struggles sharpened them. Soldiers, explorers, creators, people who faced resistance and rose against it. You don't need a battlefield to train your will. You need to place resistance in your life on purpose. That may mean setting higher standards for your work, pushing your body beyond its comfort, or stepping into situations that frighten you. The man who trains his will each day becomes unshakable. Obstacles no longer break him, they build him. Nietzsche believed this kind of man was the antidote to the last man. Most people design their lives to escape struggle. They look for the easy job, the safe choice, the path of least resistance. But Nietzsche taught the opposite. He urged men to seek out struggle, because only struggle awakens the deeper forces of life. Comfort dulls your instincts. Struggle sharpens them. Comfort hides your potential. Struggle reveals it. Comfort keeps you asleep, and struggle, you guessed it, wakes you up. This doesn't mean living recklessly or chasing misery for its own sake. It means seeing every challenge as training. Seeing every obstacle as the weight that strengthens your spirit. Nietzsche often wrote about the creative force hidden inside pain. He argued that suffering when faced with courage becomes the raw material of greatness. Artists, philosophers, leaders, all of them drew from pain. They transformed hardship into strength, wounds into wisdom, obstacles into art. The fire that destroyed weaker men became fuel for those who refused to bow. To Nietzsche, pain was not the enemy. It was a forge. If you wanted to create something of worth, whether in art or in life, you had to walk through fire. This is where Nietzsche's challenge strikes hardest. Most people choose safety, not growth. They hide from rejection, from failure, from risk. They live small to avoid pain. But Nietzsche believed that every time you choose safety over growth, you shrink. Every time you avoid pain, you hand over your will. The man who avoids difficulty becomes fragile. The man who embraces it becomes powerful. The choice appears in small things, whether you wake up early or stay in bed, whether you speak your mind or remain silent, whether you take the risk or let it pass. Comfort whispers, stay here, don't move. be safe. Nietzsche whispers, move, risk, become more. Nietzsche's warning about comfort wasn't just about avoiding weakness, it was about building a life worth living. He believed that the highest life was one filled with challenge, struggle, and achievement. Not because these things guarantee happiness, but because they give life depth and meaning. The man who embraces struggle experiences life in full colour. He knows fear, but also courage. He knows loss, but also victory. He knows suffering, but also greatness. Comfort, by contrast, flattens experience. It offers peace, but it strips away the intensity of living. Nietzsche wanted you to live so deeply that you would look back on your life and say, yes, I would live it again exactly as it was. This was his idea of eternal recurrence, to embrace life so completely, even its suffering, that you would gladly repeat it forever. Escaping comfort requires raising your standard for yourself. It means refusing to settle for the bare minimum. Nietzsche believed mediocrity was the true enemy of man, not failure. Failure sharpens you. Mediocrity sedates you. To live by a higher standard is to demand more from yourself than society demands. It is to set goals that stretch you, to walk paths that scare you, and to hold yourself accountable when no one else does. This higher standard is not about perfection, it's about momentum. Every day you push forward, even slightly, you separate yourself from the last man. You rise above the herd. So, how do you apply Nietzsche's warning today? Start small, but start. Take the cold shower, lift the heavy weight, do the difficult work first, speak when you are afraid to, walk into situations where you may fail. Every time you do, you reclaim a piece of your will. You prove to yourself that comfort doesn't own you. You build strength layer by layer until you become the kind of person Nietzsche believed would carry humanity forward. Nietzsche didn't want readers who agreed with him. He wanted readers who acted. His warning was not meant to scare you, it was meant to waken you. Comfort is killing you, slowly and silently. But the core is simple. Step into struggle. Refuse the easy path. Choose growth over safety, pain over sedation, greatness over mediocrity. If you do this, you're no longer the last man. You are the man Nietzsche believed was still possible. A man who creates, who risks, who overcomes. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.